Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Adventures in Norvald. We're playing a homebrew Pathfinder 1E campaign set in a land of ice and snow. Let's introduce our resident heroes. We've got Dave, who plays our human rogue Angelus. We've got, who's currently not showing. Oh dear. No worries. We've got Ad, who plays our ranger Ulf, and we've got Lee, who plays our cleric Giles. So last session, our guys had an interesting one. They went to the city of Pient, chased by an army who had invaded the outskirts. They went to see Vigo, and they were told that they weren't able to see him until tomorrow. They went to a seeress, who told them they had a dark and mystical future, and who gave them a cursed weapon. They also bought a few items like armor and other things. And we left the party stumbling out of the seeress's hut. And I believe you guys were talking about either seeing Gunter the Wizard or bedding down for the night.
I think so, yeah. You're right, Lee.
No, I think everything's gone wrong tonight. First of all, we've got Dave not working. Now we've got Paris that looks like has gone dead small with his camera. And more annoying is the map isn't showing, but I'm on it. I'll sort it out. So, what time in the evening is it at the moment?
In the game, it's
8:32.
Oh, what time is it now?
No. In the game.
In the game, it's about 3:00 in the afternoon. So there'd be some time to whittle away if you found a tavern or inn. There's one just opposite. You remember there's the Salty Maid, which had a symbol of a maiden and a salt shaker.
Oh, we've got like 3 people we need to go see, haven't we, actually? We've got to go to the dock. If I can remember correctly, there's 2 people quite close to each other. Could we get there in time, or would it be getting quite late if we walk there? If we walk to, is it the docks?
There's the tower that's on the boulevard near the docks. I don't know who else you were meant to see. What's in your notes, Lee?
Of course I have notes. Let me just read them out. Oh yeah, that's right. So
McCain? Is it? I've got.
The McCain, yeah. Yeah, the McCain's in the docks.
I'm sure there's someone else close by, but I can't remember his name.
I also love that Ad says it like the guy who makes the chips.
I was thinking chips.
It's a type of creature. It's known as a mercane, but I love that you call it the McCain.
It's what I've written down.
Yeah.
Is it golden? That's what I want to know. Is it a golden
the McCain?
creature? Yeah.
It's not golden crispy after 20 minutes. It's big and blue, and that's all you've been described as the mercane, which is a type of mercantile outsider. That's all you know about it.
Okay. Well, I think we should go see 3:00 in the afternoon. I say we take a little walk there. We've got some time.
To the McCain.
To the McCain. Yeah.
Yeah, is that? Yeah.
Is that fine with you, Dave, or have you gone?
I know, is Dave frozen? I don't know. Dave? Please tell me Dave hasn't refrozen.
Right, Charles. Shall we go to the McCain?
Yeah, we'll take Frozen Dave with us, and hopefully he'll unfreeze by the time we get there.
He's just rigid, and you have to pick him up.
Let's carry him over.
You take him.
It's going to be one of these type of episodes. Okay. So let's pick up Frozen Dave and take him with us.
Yeah, cool. So you guys head down to the docks. Like I say, there was a large ship there. Absolutely massive, and on the side you see a large painted symbol. It's got a horse with a club raised over it, and the horse has loads and loads of just like rainbow paint splattered all over it. It's a large, imposing hulk in the bay. It looks significantly ragtag battered, but it's a huge ship lurking in the port, a lot bigger than any of the other fishing ships or smaller longboat vessels. This is a proper a sailing ship, a galley. Can I get a perception off you all, please?
Yeah.
Uh,
20 for me.
20.
Right.
Go on, Lee.
So I've got obviously my lenses in, so that's 10, and I think on my character sheet it's 5, so that's 15, plus the one I rolled, so that'd be 16.
Your
Has it changed?
your eagle eyes have already been they're now added onto the character sheet, so it's just what the skill bonus is, Lee.
Okay, well I've not looked at my new character sheet, so let's have a look.
Yeah, so your perception is 10 in total.
Okay. Well, then it's just 11.
Just 11. Fair enough. Just 11.
I've lost my character sheet because I've not printed it out, so this is going to take
No
me
worries,
a
that's
bit
fine.
longer than usual.
Yeah, no worries. Ad, you see a couple of distinctive ships in the harbour. Lee, they look all the same to you. But you see a large golden ship at the end of the dock. And it has a large, many-armed creature as the figurehead. And a giant sail that's up. Now, it's a bit windy, but the wind just doesn't seem to be affecting this sail. There's something a bit unusual about this ship. But it's huge, ornate, interesting, and there's all sorts of different creatures passing boxes on it. You don't recognize some of the species of the creatures that are on it. You see a couple of dwarves, you see an elf, but there's a few things. There's like a guy who's got like really fiery red hair, and his skin just looks like a ruby. And then you've got someone else who's got 4 sets of arms, who's a bit like the Pokemon Machamp, who's throwing big boxes over the end. So you've got a few different creatures
Okay.
on this ship. All the others seem to have just standard human crews, maybe the odd half elf here and there, but the only one with any particularly interesting group is this golden ship at the end of the pier. And of course, the large hulking wreck is another ship that is of interest to you with the figure of the beaten mare.
I'll just say to Giles and Angelus then, I'm kind of drawn to this golden ship. You fancy taking a look?
Golden ship? Why, yes. Angelus seems to be slightly quiet. I think the cat got his tongue, so let's take him with us.
Oh dear. Shall we? I'm happy to have a break while Dave comes back or sorts his technical issues. I'm just worried about playing too much without him. Oh, and then he's gone again.
I don't know. I mean, did he not? I thought he went to get his mobile phone to do the video, so I'm a bit concerned it's not his. If it's his internet, that could be a big issue for the whole night.
Yeah, he's headed off.
Let's have a look. Mind you, that angle that it's got there is definitely not his mobile phone. That's his webcam. So maybe he needs to just use his mobile phone and try that. And your camera, Paris, just keeps going crazy big on my screen. It's really annoying me.
It is.
I can't keep it. It normally stays the same size, but I think with the issues of Dave going in and out at the moment, it keeps resizing.
Oh, because it's making me bigger on Skype and then smaller. Yeah, of course. So it's different when there's just all 4 of us, isn't it? But ads seems normally big as well.
Yeah, ads gone a bit bigger than usual. It should sort itself out. Let's see if we can get Dave back in. Don't see any messages from him, so let's see. Alright, I've just sent him a message, so see if he comes back on. Oh, the joys. I wonder if it's crashed his whole computer because it's lost. It's out of Roll20 as well.
Might have done.
I think he was saying it was going to be hot, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, he just might need a new laptop.
You mean he needs to build a PC?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, while I was doing that, I'm going to have a quick look at my spells.
And actually pick some this time.
Well, you say this, but I just look at them and you can't just pick them because you never know what you're going to need.
No, that's true, and that's the advantage of being a cleric. Hello, he's on his phone.
Hey! Oh my god. Can you turn your
Reliable
phone
connection.
sideways, please?
God.
If you look at my stream, you'll. There we go, that's better.
Okay,
Cool.
this has gone horrendously wrong.
Hey, it's live streaming, what do you expect?
Okay, let's try that. I'm going to have to look at my screen like that.
Cool, I'm going to try and
Good,
resize
it's all
you.
good.
I've been trying to do that for years, mate.
I know. Let's just see what happens there.
The Wi-Fi just keeps bombing out for some reason.
You just need a new one. It's fine.
You know everything. But yeah, okay.
Cool. I'll just do what I have to do with these cameras for now because I've got a feeling they're going to keep resizing themselves. I don't know what's going off it. So what we've done, Dave, is we're going towards a golden ship that only Ad can see because I'm blind.
We can see it. You just don't notice anything that unusual
you didn't
about
notice
it.
it.
It doesn't stand out. Yeah.
Cool.
You did notice the subtle intricacies that I'd notice of that it's a very interesting creature-filled crew, and the intricacies of the ship.
Sounds cool.
So as you guys enter the dock, an armed man approaches you, and another man with a chest next to him, and the armed man says, "Stop!" Puts out his hand.
There.
Okay.
Yes.
Harbour.
Yes.
What was that?
Okay. Do we not have free passage to the harbour?
He shakes his head. He says, "You must either pay the tax, or you must turn around and go elsewhere."
Tax? Well, we're not actually sailing anywhere.
He nods and he says, "But anyone who walks on the dock must pay the tax. It's extra to dock a ship, but some people are leaving to get passage elsewhere. There's a tax."
Is that normal?
Well, I'm the harbour master, so yes, it is normal.
Just checking we're not getting fleeced. You know how it is.
He points to the large building on the dock, and he says, "Come on, follow me in here." And he opens the door, and the man with the chest follows him.
Okay.
Now he's got to go out to the docks.
Just run past him and avoid paying your tax. It's an option. It's always an option.
I mean, I'm skinned.
So, what does the man carrying the chest look like? Did you say?
So there's the man with the sword who's got a brown leather suit on. It's sort of standard leather gear, guard cap on, short sword by the side of him. He's got a big chain round his neck and with a medallion on. The other guy is in a he's got like a bassinet type metal helmet, and he's got a pink tabard on, and he's just holding a big chest that's strapped to him via a large rope.
Okay. Does the pink tabard have any like emblem or anything on it?
Not that you notice.
No.
No, but the other guy has standard guard gear.
Okay, and his neck chain thing doesn't have anything familiar on it.
Can you give me a intelligence check for what you remember about the city?
Oh, 16.
Yeah, it's got the emblem, the puffin.
Oh, okay, and he's the harbour master. Did you say?
Yeah, that's what he says that he is.
So was he asking us to follow him, or the guy with the chest?
No, he was asking you guys to follow him. He's pointed at you. He back at
Okay.
Come on, come in here. Come in this building.
We'll follow him then, I guess. Do you want to follow him?
Oh, like he wants. First of all, he's trying to get us to pay some tax. Now he's trying to get us in somewhere we don't know. Let's follow. Let's see what happens.
I feel a
Lee's
murder
like, if
coming
it's a
on.
fight, I'm going to kill him. As you enter this building, you see a large tapestry in the background. It depicts boats, lots of things. There's a large seal in the middle, again, a big sign of the puffin, and there's some stacked coins as well on the tapestry, as well as a few other things like sailors unloading crates, and a large sword underneath and an X crossed, and there's some runes around it in common, just saying something like, he who sails pays, or something like that. And he's there sitting on a large desk. A large desk. The guy with the chest is at the side of him, and he takes out a little roll of paper and he shows you, and he says, "The tax for this harbour is 1 copper each and 1 gold to shore your boat here per day."
Oh, okay. One
So
copper each.
One
That's
copper
fine.
for what?
1 copper for each of you to walk on the dock.
Okay. Is anyone else in this room?
It's just him and the guy with the chest.
Really?
No.
Oh,
Oh no.
It's quite a small room, but it is walled ceiling. There's no window out. It's almost like a little hut kind of thing.
do you know what? It's 1 copper. I won't rock the boat on this occasion.
We all thought we were going to kill him, man.
I know. I look. I smile and I pay my copper.
Yeah, cool. He sticks out the chest and it's got a little slot in the top.
I'll
Excellent.
give him a copper too.
Cool.
Okay.
We give him the copper.
Are we free to go now?
Yeah, they nod if he's got a copper off all of you. He says, "You have the day of the docks. Enjoy."
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Oh, actually, before we go, do you know where I can find the Macan?
He says
it called, then?
the McCain is in the golden ship at the end of the dock.
Ah,
So, so to the golden ship.
yeah, let's head there then, yeah.
You step out onto the dock and you walk by lots of sailors unloading, loading crates, lots of boats in this harbour. It seems very extremely busy. You've been here before, Ad. You don't remember it being this busy. There's a lot of men on the ships, a lot of armed men. So there's seems to be an awful lot of ships docking. The harbour master's following you, not explicitly following you, but he follows behind, running up to the latest ship and demanding some coins into his chest, and people are just paying and tying up. And you get to the golden ship at the end of the port, and you see the ruby-skinned creature with the wild fire-like hair. He turns at you and he says, what do you gentlemen want?
We're looking for the Mercane.
He says, and you are?
I'm Ulf Trolls.
Do you
These are my
have-
friends.
Do you have an appointment?
No.
He says Blue's a very busy man. He doesn't just trade with anyone. He only trades with people with the finest of goods.
What did we want to see him for? Do you remember?
You see, this is the thing. I am having a complete blank. Yeah. In short, I forgot about tonight's episode and therefore forgot to remember what we were doing. Heavily relying on ads for his note-taking has failed.
I appear to have not made any notes apart from McCain, Big Blue. That's my notes.
So I think what we need is a quick recap, Dungeon Master, of what happened on last episode.
So you've heard about the McCain through through a series of rumors. I'm saying it like ads now. It's contagious. You heard about it in the town. Dave was talking with the local, I think, general store owner or something like that, or maybe it was you, Ad. And you heard that the McCain is a purveyor of rare and magical items. You've also heard that Vigo is trying to negotiate with him because he's got his stone warriors that Vigo wants to conscript because apparently they can fight without rest and are essentially immortal. So Vigo's currently entertaining him, and I think he's just a general person of interest that you've been hearing about. There's quite a lot of buzz because he's insanely rich and purveys a lot of magical items.
Awesome.
That's all you know for now.
I've just remembered that I have this thing around my neck, the hand that can bring items to me as well, of the size of a book or about the weight of a book.
Yeah, £5. Yeah.
Angelos, were you after explosives or something?
I'm always after some sort of explosive. Yeah, why not?
I was just trying to remember if that's what we were going to go and see him for. Or... Because weren't you inquiring about like explosive arrows or something like that?
Yeah.
But obviously, you're no good to you now.
No. No. It's a question. Oh no, I'll ask that later. Are they allowed to use bombs now, or they just like blow up when I use them?
Anything that's a conventional weapon, so like martial weapons, simple weapons, swords, knives, daggers. Strangely enough, Envy won't let you use cutlery either, apart from spoons.
Oh, how did I forget about Envy?
You can't use cutlery.
You can use the spoon, but you can't use knives and forks. They're too weapon-like.
Dave, do you want me to cut your meat up for you?
She doesn't care about ammunition. It is just weapons, knives, swords, daggers, spears, etc. Bows, doesn't like bows either.
Okay.
Symbolic weapons, essentially. That's why she also doesn't like knives and forks.
So,
What happens if he wants to eat a meal?
He has to eat with a spoon.
We have to cut it up for him into little pieces. Our friend will have soup.
What part of Kerr's weapons do you guys not understand?
That's going to be cutting up my steak with an axe. Just like
Envy's fine. Envy doesn't mind.
I'm going to make it my life's mission now to kill someone with a spoon.
So it's worth seeing this McCain then, is it, to see what magical items he's got, I suppose?
Do you ask the ruby skinned man?
Yes, sorry.
He says he's the greatest purveyor of magical items in the whole of Norvald.
Excellent. We'd appreciate an audience with him, if that's okay.
He says, "I'll get Big Blue if you can prove that you have rare and mysterious magical items."
While he stood there, I'll start pulling Rat out.
Okay. No. So he looks at the weapon and he says, "Nice sword. How do I know it's magical?"
Because it doesn't do the silence thing anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I can.
I'll go. I'll put it away. Angela, show me yours.
So I unsheathed Envy, and What's behind them? Is there anything behind them? Is it like a wall, or is it just?
I mean, it's a ship, so you've got the mast behind them. You've got the wheel. It's a really big ship.
I'll throw my axe at the mast.
Okay.
And try and get stick in that.
So you throw the axe at the mast, and 6 seconds later, it appears directly back in your hand, unless you want to do something else during that round. The ruby-skinned man turns and looks at you, and he nods, and he says, "I'll see if Big Blue's available." And he walks down the stairs. You wait, well, however long you wait, but it's a couple of minutes before he's back. And he says, "Big Blue has some time to make an appointment with you now, if you gentlemen are willing to see him."
Absolutely. Let's see.
Yes, let's show us the way.
He beckons you and takes a step down into the bowels of the ship. And you notice that this ship looks like it normally have 2-3 tiers. It doesn't. It's just like a massive, these stairs are huge that you're going down. And actually inside it's like almost like a warehouse. It's not as big as a warehouse, but the 2 floors have been completely stripped away and it's just one big room. And in it you see a blue creature cross-legged on a large rug surrounded by huge luxurious cushions. This guy's as big as an ogre, and he's got 4 pairs of arms, and you can see that he has multiple eyes on his head as well. And he turns and looks at you with a big friendly face, and he says, "Gentlemen, are you here to trade?"
Depending on what wares you have on offer, we could be.
"I have many things, many items." And he takes he's got a large sword that's next to him, absolutely huge because this guy's a giant, or he's giant sized. He takes his large sword and he lays it in front of you. And he says, "This blade, for example, I forged it. It's my sword. It's magical. Wonderful, mystical. Tell me, what sort of weapons, items, mystical things do you desire?"
That's a good question. I suppose there's quite an array of things we would like to acquire.
He nods. He says, "Me too. I'm an avid collector."
Do you have any like jewelry trinkets that are embalmed in magic?
He nods. He says, "I have many jewels, many items embalmed in magic. So many, in fact, that it'll take me a while to find them online."
Damn you asking for the wrong items.
I'm trying to think what we're going to need because, again, memory sketchy. I don't know what's happened to it. But I remember thinking we're going to need to be heavily armed.
Yeah, so we got our armor last time, didn't we? Which has been added onto our sheets. And I think I kept my same weapons. I think Dave's obviously got envy now. And I think did you get a new weapon, Lee?
No,
John.
There wasn't anything.
He armed the bloody skeleton, though.
Oh yeah.
He takes out a small chest from behind him from a mysterious location. He seems to clap his hands together, put them behind it, and whip out a small chest. Don't know if it was there before. You can't tell unless you do a perception check. But he does this clap and seems to be able to take items out. And he opens the chest. He says, "I have 2 rings, 2 wonderful, beautiful rings. The first one is one that I commonly trade. The first one is a ring of protection, and it offers you a small measure of armor, even if you can't normally wear armor. Anyone who puts this ring on gets a certain degree of protection from weapons. The second ring is one that assists you when falling from a great height. It's known as a ring of feather falling, and it will mitigate some of the damage if you fall from a large building. You'll still survive, even if you fall all that way."
What was your armor like, Lee?
My armor is really bad, so I could use that. I mean, it has got slightly better. It is now on. I have to look at the character sheet because I need to. Sounds perfect for when you're drunk. so that distracted me there, but yeah, it does sound good. For
What, the
when
ring
you're
of
drunk.
feather falling?
Yeah.
Definitely.
My AC is now 11. So I'm just thinking, could I, if I was to grab my little hand and imagine that ring coming towards me, would he notice?
You'd have to give it a try.
Oh no. Oh no, this is where we get killed by a four.
This dude's a giant.
I'm gonna not bother for now.
It is just him in this room. The ruby guy has already gone upstairs.
Yeah, but he's a magician. I don't want to. Yeah, I do want to, but I'm not going to. I feel like it's one of those things that I will regret. So I will leave it for now. However, how much is that ring?
He says, I trade in magic items. If you have a magic item to trade, I will trade one of a similar or equal value. If you have an interesting item, I might just happen to take it off your hands and trade it for multiple things. If the value of the magic item isn't enough, I will accept gold, but not in its entirety.
Oh. I bet we've got nothing magic to spare, have we all?
I don't have what. I've got my little hand.
Yeah, but I think we can use that later. I mean, I am pondering the idea of like, at some point, can I give him so envy and pretend that I've give him that, but then run away very quickly so he doesn't notice the trade's gone wrong and I've got envy.
Haven't you got to die though to lose it?
No, but if he he gives envy to him. We walk off. Envy will be back on his belt.
In 6 seconds.
Yeah, can you run that quickly out of the ship?
I mean, I might try it on a smaller stall first.
Try it on a peasant who
Wait,
can't
I've
afford to lose the gold.
Why don't you just swing at him? You need to take envy for a spin.
Oh God! Can you imbue anything with magic, Giles?
The only thing I've got is this, I think from memory, is the hand around my neck, and I know Angelus has faceless. That
The mask
I
from
forgot about
Faceless,
that. I forgot
the
about the
Stalker's
mask,
mask.
But other than that, I don't think I have anything that's magical.
What about an onyx ring? Do you have like an onyx ring?
Yeah, I have onyx rings, but
You need those, though, don't you?
yeah, could offer him.
The blue man puts his hands together. He says, You seem to be unsure of what to present to me. May I look through your items?
Seems legit enough.
You're not taking his little
guys think?
handbag. It's not happening.
No,
Is my-
stay
What,
away
the
from my
purple
purse. Stay away from my purse.
Is Mary Poppins' bag?
So I'll just go. Here's my tiny little rucksack because I'm a weakling. Have a look, but don't touch.
He puts his many arms together, and you notice he only has 3 fingers on each hand and a big thumb. And he puts his hands together, and then he puts it out, and he begins to chant. And you notice that your bags sort of rise and fall, and it all goes a bit sort of sloopy, so to speak. And you see certain items glow. And Dave, your weapons grow really brightly. Wrath just absolutely lights up the room. And as the room begins to light up, you get a bigger, better look at what's inside the container of this ship. You notice wall from back to front. You notice stone statues with large weapons are just posed like this, or in different poses with their weapons, and they're just absolutely crammed into the bottom of this ship all around him. Beyond that, you notice a few crates, but he's not really got a lot in this ship other than these statues and the chest ring in front of him. He begins to clap his hands very slowly, very slightly, and you notice, Lee, the thing glow around your neck. Dave, you've got a stone that's in your pocket, the Eun torch. That begins to glow as well with the continual flame on it. That comes out of the bag. The bag begins to glow as well. And also, Lee, out of your backpack flops a book. And you will remember this book because you took it from the witch who was in league with Gorn when you killed him. You took her spell book.
Okay.
And you notice that just flip open a few pages and then shut again on the other side. I'm trying to think what other magic items you have. Yeah, the mask glows strongly as well. But yeah, that's everything that glows on you guys. And of course, the purple purse.
So, out of all those items, the one that speaks to me the most is the Book of Spells, because none of us are ever going to use that. So I pick up the book and go, what would you trade before this book?
Depends what spells are in it. See, a wizard spell book or a witcher's spell book is a very interesting item. If I can translate the spells and incantations inside, and they have something new, then I can copy those spells into my spell book. And he claps his second set of hands, and he puts a hand behind him, and he takes out a big dusty tome, and he opens it, and he says, "May I see?" and puts out his big hand that's like the size of your head.
I hand over the book, or the spell book. Yeah.
He puts it in his palm, and he opens it over his fingers, and he begins to turn the pages and smile. And he says, there may be one or two spells in here, nothing of great worth, but I may be able to part with a ring if you give me the book, and I'm going to say 500 gold for the ring of protection.
Dungeon Master, you trying to bluff me?
Sense motive.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing sense motive.
Actually, how good's my sense motive as well? I might do that as well.
Yes!
Yeah, anyone who wants to do a sense motive can.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit excited tonight. So I rolled a 20. My sense motive is 3, so 23.
23. You notice, even though this creature is a little bit alien and strange, his friendly face has sort of, the corner of his mouth has dipped slightly, and you notice his eyes darting to the book and each page. You think there may be something a little bit more valuable in this book than you think so, than you think he's letting on.
I turn around and go, I think you want this book very much. I think I'll take both the rings for this book.
Can I get a diplomacy from you, Lee?
Not the best. 12.
He grins and he says, "A haggler, what a delight. Unfortunately, you overestimate the worth of this book. Yes, there may be some room to wiggle in terms of the gold, but it's at very least worth one ring. At the most, it's worth one ring."
Okay.
I can knock it down and say the book and 400 gold.
It's 2 rings.
No, for the one ring. You're not gonna. He shakes his head and like laughs, and he's like, "No, not gonna happen."
I think I'll take my book back.
He folds it. He gives it to you.
Thank you.
What is that? I'll just go. What are these statues?
He says they are my stone warriors.
Have they come to help in the fight?
He says Vigo hasn't offered me a sufficiently powerful magic item in exchange for their services. He's been trying to butter me up for a few days now, and unfortunately, I've loaned him a few mercenaries that I have contacts with, but he's yet to procure the services of these warriors. And he claps his top sets of hands, and they all go into a salute.
Oh. Okay. Good job you didn't do anything, Lee.
Yeah, I was gonna say this could have ended horrendously.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how much that ring's worth. Yeah, it is a good job. But,
So, what kind of item would you be after from Vigo?
His sword's pretty nice, but I doubt he'd trade a family heirloom. Something interesting, something with effect I've not seen is a delight, absolute delight. And I've seen a lot of magic items. Maybe something from another world.
Is there anything you know of in this region that has piqued your interest?
He cocks his head and smiles. What an interesting question from an inquisitive mind. You're asking if you could procure something from me.
Indeed.
For me.
those rings are not cheap.
Have a Google. I believe there's a word for players like this.
Naughtily.
I just had to check.
No, they're not. They range from about I know the cheaper ones are about 300, and then they go up to 2,000 very quickly, and then beyond that they're rather expensive. He says, not impient, but perhaps in another location. I tell you what. And he writes on a piece of paper and he folds it up, and he takes out a very small clay bird and he puts it in the mouth and he passes it to you.
As you do.
Yeah, okay.
It did what? Say that again.
He takes out just out of his back. He takes out a small clay bird about the size of that. He's written a little message down, rolled it up, and he popped it in his mouth, and he gives it to you.
And what's this for?
So I can contact you if I need anything fetching.
Ah. So there's nothing you know of yet.
Not in Pient, but should you find yourself in an area of my interest, my little bird will tell me.
Can I?
Okay.
I look at it and go, can I just appraise that ring? Can I try and appraise that ring? I'd like to know how much protection it actually gives. Why?
Yep, D20 appraisal score, please, Lee.
Plus, Angelus, what's your appraisal?
My praise is 7.
Would you mind appraising this ring for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
That's where I roll a 1 for you, isn't it? Please be good, dice. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible. I rolled 13, so that's 20.
20. You think it's anywhere between 1,500 and 2,500. You're not entirely sure, but it's roughly in that ballpark.
Alright, I'm just going to give him this book and give him the 400 gold if the offer's still there.
Or do you want me to have a praise of that book as well?
No, because we do. I think. See, now I'm thinking we should. Go on. Praise the book.
I would love to. I just dropped the 1 dice as the good one.
Or look at it beyond a 1. If it's bad, I don't want to know. I'll just take the ring.
Okay. Okay, I rolled 18 on that one, so 25.
Okay, the book is mostly nonsense to you, Dave. You don't understand it. Lots of spells and weird languages. Nothing particularly spills out to you. You notice a series of rare inks used on the page, which you imagine in their own right would have been pretty expensive. But again, just because you've noticed that someone's written in a fine ink doesn't mean that the content's any good. The book is finely bound in a leather press. Strangely enough, there's regular leather, and on the inside cover there's an unusual type of leather that you don't know. Some of it's crimson, some of it's a different color, like shades of blue, but there's something a bit different about this book. You don't understand any of the language in it. It's pretty much gobbledygook, Dave. It'd be very difficult for you to put a value on. You think in terms of the materials alone, the leather, it makes the book worth about 300, but then someone's scrawlings inside can either make it less or better. You just don't have the right skills to properly appraise this book, but you understand there's a level of quality to it.
I love the way you just have that ready in his head to spiel off at any moment. Like, I'll give him the book and take the gold. Give him the gold even.
Cool.
While I remember as well, I'll just ask him: is there? You have any items to enhance this hound of mine?
Oh, your wolf.
Yes.
He says maybe I've got something. Let me check. And he actually turns this time, and you notice him clapping his hands together, and you don't see what's in front of him, not without peering round him, but he seems to open a really big chest that wasn't there before, and you hear him rummaging around inside with all four of his arms. He brings out a small leather outfit, and he goes right up to the wolf, like eyes like really close to him, and your Baldric's kind of just backing off a little, and he places it next to him, and he goes, no, that's not it. And he goes back inside, and he takes out like a cotton shirt, and he's like, no, that's not it. He takes out another piece of sort of abandoned leather, and he places it next to Baldric, and he says, oh, roughly all right. The only question would be is has that dog worn any sort of armor before? Or wolf?
Nothing before.
It will need some further training to be ordered to use this. But I can certainly sell it to you. It's not magical. It's interesting in nature. But yes, I can sell some basic barding for your wolf.
And it's not magical, so you don't want to trade anything magical for this then?
He says I could do with some gold.
How much?
How much indeed?
Can I just check it? Was it 400 I needed to give this guy, just so I could deduct?
Yeah,
yeah.
400.
Fine, thank you.
He says potentially 100 gold.
Okay. I can give you 100 gold for that.
That's the way to put it on, and the dog's just going to go.
He nods, and it's he passes it to you. It weighs 25 pounds for wolf barding, and you acquire it. Do you try and put it on Baldric now?
How do I go about training him? Curiously,
if he gets enough experience over time, perhaps you can put the armor in front of him, see if he'll go into it. This wolf doesn't look ready to wear armor yet.
Okay, so if I just dangle it in front of Baldric then and see what he does.
Yeah, he squirms away from it. He's like, I don't know what that is. Don't want it on me yet.
Okay. I'll slip that into my backpack.
Out of character, he needs another level and to take the appropriate feats in order to wear armor, or to get basically the right stuff in order to do it. But yeah.
Just one little thing, guys. How did we forget about Zippity Doo?
That's Gunter.
Yeah. You mean the guy the session's named after?
That's the one.
Instead, you're spending all this time with this unusual McCain.
Hey, but talking of which, what's that? Do I know what that ring can do? Do I know the stats for it, just so I can add it on?
Yeah, so he tells you everything to know about the ring.
Cool.
So it's a ring of protection, and it increases your armor class by 1.
Okay. No problem. Add that to my list.
So you're
So
giving him the big one.
where's Gunter? Isn't Gunter close by?
You asked the location of Gunter last session, and he's on the boulevard close to the docks.
That's what I thought. I knew there was someone else around here. I just couldn't quite remember who. So, Angelus, do you need to speak to this guy anymore? Is there anything you need?
Can I ask him to have a look at Envy and ask him maybe as in like, this item's a very interesting item. I'm just curious. Do you know anything about the magical effect it has on it?
He puts out his hand.
I place Envy in his hand. Briefly.
He takes it and peers closely, and not 6 seconds later, it suddenly appears in your hand, and you hear "mine" in your ear. And he furrows his brow, and he says, "Could you hold it out for me?"
Sure, yeah. I extend my arm.
He looks at it closely, and he says, "This is a highly unusual magical weapon." He says, I'm familiar with this weapon, or this set of weapons. They're famous in Norvald, actually, amongst the magical community as a family who befell great evils. The basic story that I know is that they were a family of warriors, and through a series of events, befell great tragedy and death. I believe the grandfather killed a few of the members of the family. Another stole off another and ran away. And eventually, once the family line was finished, all that was left was the weapons that contained their souls. And this is one of said weapons. I believe it's the mother who inhabits this weapon, who was jilted by her husband.
Oh, cool. That's not going to afford me.
I'll jump in and say, I have another one of these weapons, but I'm kind of afraid to unsheath it completely.
If you are going to, I'm going to go and leave.
He looks at the weapon and he says, "I can sense its evil malice from here. You've fed this thing."
If you mean by fell my enemies, then yes, I have fed this thing.
Tell me, is this weapon one that has increased in size since you've had it?
Indeed, it has, yes.
How big was it when you first received it?
It was a short sword.
It was indeed a short sword, yes. You've fed this thing a considerable amount of blood. I would be wary, for it is the wrathful grandfather's soul that inhabits this weapon. The one who murdered his entire lineage.
Oh.
Yeah, you keep that one, Aston.
They say his rage grows so great until it becomes a monster that reaps back on itself.
Okay. So I've got the nutcase. Great.
I mean, they're all nutcases. These are cursed weapons, but yeah. It's. He says this. Sorry, Lee. What would you say?
Cursed weapons, aren't they just the best?
They are just the best. He said these are powerful weapons, incredibly powerful weapons. In fact, I'm surprised you managed to collect 2 of the 7.
7 of them.
7 of them.
He nods.
Oh, of course, the deadly sins.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
I believe this is the first time this family have seen each other in a while. Whether they'd recognise each other. I don't know.
What happens if we touch? No, that's not weird. Let's touch our weapons together, right?
Well, shall we try putting them near to each other? Or is it going to be one of these families where they all absolutely hate each other?
Oh, that's what I mean. You end up having a fight, so we're not going to stop, are we?
Let me get my cure moderate wounds ready.
Do you draw?
Yes.
I hold Envy in my hand, and I'll slowly put Envy closer to Wrath.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
And I tap Envy on the sheath of Wrath.
Nothing.
Can you? What do you reckon about just unsheathing a little bit? And I'll just tap the blade.
just a bit.
Just a bit. Yeah, just.
Still nothing. The McCain's looking with great curiosity, and he says, "Perhaps they are too inwardly involved to recognise each other."
Okay.
Maybe we just need to put it all the way out. It's like jumping into a cold, bath. You just got to get straight.
I don't fancy being squished by some big stone things. Cool.
Can I ask the McCain carb? What's it called?
It's 25 minutes. The book time.
How long does it take till golden brown?
Oh my god. Can I ask him? Does he know the location of the other 5?
Ooh.
He shakes his head. He said, "I didn't even know the location of one."
That's right.
It's either incredible fortune or incredible bad luck that you've managed to get 2 of them.
I'm going to go with the latter.
Their owners are meant to meet notoriously bad ends.
Oh, so there've been lots of previous owners then.
He nods. He says, "Not everyone picks them up. I believe that Wrath was apparently possessed by a cursed bloodline. Rumoured, anyway."
Okay.
What about Envy?
He shrugs. He says, "All I know about their owners is they tend to meet demise by their own hand."
Oh god, I can't get rid of it. I'm just going to kill myself.
Shall we go look for Gunter?
Zippity doo.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I'll go. Message me then when you think there's something you require. What's your name, by the way?
Just call me Blue.
Big Blue.
He says, "Our names are notoriously hard to pronounce, but we aren't from this material plane."
Blue it is.
Is that why the sails on your ship don't appear to be affected by the wind?
He smiles a big grin. He says, "You're a clever one, aren't you?"
I like to think so.
He nods.
Cool.
Okay.
Right.
Shall we?
Do we leave? Thank you, kind
Did
sir.
you get your ring in the end?
I've got my ring. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought it. I lost. It's got the book. Costs also 400 gold, but it's a +1 to my armor. But I feel I'm gonna need it.
Yeah.
I feel like death is coming.
I'm gonna kill Wayne Pike. Yeah.
Do we know where Gunter is?
In
We
the
don't.
tower in the
Roughly.
Let's.
boulevard.
Can we head towards Gunter? And
Yeah.
Any different screen that you may have for that, if you do have one.
Cool. You guys head off the docks and straight to the boulevard. The large tower isn't difficult to see as it's one of the taller, prominent buildings. Most buildings tend to be 1 story tall, thatched roofs, cobblestone. But this one in particular is a tower that's multiple stories tall, quite a thin building, slightly wonky roof on it. And as you begin to get closer, you see a large building that looks like a tavern or an inn. You see a couple of smaller buildings that look like residences, and you see the tower opposite the tavern on the corner where the road turns. And you assume that that's Gunter's residence based on what was described to you. As you approach the tower, can I get a perception off you all?
Uh,
16.
29.
16, 29, Dave?
Sorry, 2 seconds and find out use maths. 23.
23. Ad, Dave, you notice that you are being followed by a scrawny looking figure with a hood over his head, just keeping from a distance. He's joined you since the moment you started entering the boulevard.
Okay.
He's not been following you this whole time. He's only just joined you. But he's certainly dogging your steps.
Do we notice, or is it just Ad?
Just Ad and Dave notice. Out the corner of their eyes. He's keeping pretty well out. He's, ducking by buildings, acting casual if he thinks you're looking his way. He's got like a small package that he sort of puts in, sort of looks like he's just walking with it, and then he stops and then has a cursory look at what you're doing. He's being relatively discreet.
I'll just whisper to Giles that we're being followed.
Yeah, I was with all you see what I'm saying. We're all on the same page.
Does this guy look? He doesn't look too big or anything, or too intimidating.
He looks actually quite a thin, emaciated man. Weapons you don't know because his clothing's relatively loose, but he's certainly quite agile.
How far away is he?
He's probably about 40 foot away. He's keeping a relative distance on you. In fact, you wouldn't have noticed under normal circumstances. It seems you've had pretty good ability to spot him today.
Okay.
I'm just wondering whether to just confront her.
So, up to 60 feet, I can detect chaos, I can detect good, and I can detect evil.
Cool. Which one do you want to go for?
I would like to detect evil, please.
Cool. Yeah, you begin your chant, and your aura spreads out, and you notice tiny auras of evil around you. People are walking by. It's a busy street, but nothing great. You sense a little bit of evil in a woman with a bucket walking by. You sense a little bit of evil in a man who looks quite menacing with a club, and he's just, going around hitting people's front doors and stuff, and people are shouting at the windows at him. You sense a bit of evil in a couple of people who pass, but not from this particular individual.
Okay. I just turn to Wolf and just say, I know this guy is following, but can't detect anything evil about him, so let's just continue with our business and see what happens.
Yeah, sounds good. Or we can always try and double back on him, try and catch him.
You can always put the arrow in his back if needs be.
Oh
no, you can't. That's right. You can throw an axe at him though.
I'll throw an axe at him at some point. Yeah.
Well, does one of us want to turn off down a side street while the other two of us carry on to the tower?
I say Angelus hangs back. He's the stronger one.
Oh, it's gonna be a murder. Sure. I'll make a quick thing of it. Me splintering off if you want.
Yeah, do you duck down the alley just before the tower?
Yeah.
Or do you just stay there? You duck down the alley. Cool. Cool. Are you guys going to continue on to the tower then?
Yeah.
It's right in front of you, so I'm going to do your bit first. So, Lee, you get to the door of the tower. Well, Angelus wanders down this alley.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Can I still see the guy from where I am, or is I'm just around this corner now?
You can't just yet, but what I'll do is I'll do Lee and Ad's bit, and then I'll move on to what's happening in the alley, if that's all right. Because you've split, essentially. I know it's not far, but there's, so you guys are in front of the door.
I'll rap on the door and go zippity doo dah.
So it's a large ornate wooden door, big brass knocker on it, and you see that there is a hollow area in it with a piece of wood behind. So you assume there's a little hatch for the guy to peer out. Yeah. And on the door there's a symbol that's ingrained. It looks like a bit of a pentagram, but there's a few little bright runes that stand out, glowing on the door. And as you knock on the door, a couple of those symbols just brighten up slightly and then dim. And yeah, you hear a soft voice. Business?
Yes.
What business?
Did we just want him to look at our items? Giles, was it?
I thought this guy was pretty dangerous, but I don't quite.
He's the town wizard, isn't he?
Yeah, you also wanted to have some information about the Slogric as well.
Was it? Yeah.
And basically, yeah, further information on that creature, because Heinrich told you it was incredibly dangerous.
We're after some information.
Information. Enter. And the door swings open. You notice inside there's a collection of various things on the table. Potions, poultices, lots and lots of empty jars. The place looks an absolute mess. There's a series of books stacked up high and a fire that's currently burning. And you see a man just by the fire, and he's reading frantically and picks up another book and he reads through it again.
As I walk inside, can I just glance behind me to see if I see that same chap that was trailing us?
Of course you can, and no, you can't see him.
Okay. Cool.
Shall we cut to Dave?
Yes.
Dave, as you go down the alleyway, you hear footsteps speed up.
Okay. Behind me, like.
You think he's going to imminently turn the corner of the alley, or at least he's coming up to it.
Okay. I'll Is there anywhere I can hide in this alleyway, or is there anything I could kind of?
Yeah, certainly. It's filled with trash and filth. It's an alleyway in a city, so there's a small mound of what you assume is human feces. There are some broken barrels. There's some old, tattered clothing. There's actually a pig in this alleyway as well. That's just kind of just rooting around because it is the middle of a city, and there's a cat lazily on the roof of the building nearby, just sort of watching the pig rustle around. But yeah, there's broken crates and things you can just dip behind. It's okay. Filthy, but you could easily hide.
Okay. Oh, hang on. Let me just check the usage of my mask. Stalker's mask. Because that mask, I can imitate anybody I see into. I think.
Takes you a full round, yeah.
Okay.
And you have to be observing them for that round.
Because I could turn into a pig if I wanted to do that.
Has to be humanoid. I'm afraid it has to be a person who's roughly the same size, shape as you.
Okay. Instead of hiding, why don't you just wait for him to turn the corner and take your axe to him?
I kind of wanted him a bit further into the alleyway so I can, Is there an end to this alleyway, or is it like another street at the other end of the alleyway?
Oh, there's an end to it. So the end is actually the back of the tower because it hooks round.
Ah, so this is a dead end alleyway then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
The best kind of alleyway to turn down.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll try and hide behind some broken barrels, I guess.
Yeah. So, can I get a stealth from you? Are you wearing your mask or not?
No. Did I get an extra something to my mask?
You might, yeah. You get an extra +5 if you're wearing your mask on stealth, yeah.
Go on, then I'll put it on.
Okay. You wear the mask made of faces, and you seem to blend in a bit better with the background. Can I get a d20 plus your usual bonuses plus 5?
Stealth is at 16 for my normal. Okay. I rolled 19. So it's what? 35 plus 5, 40.
You blend behind the crates as you see the man turn round the corner and run straight into the alleyway. And he looks round, you going, and he shouts, I'm jealous! I'm jealous! And we'll end the session there, guys.